Oh, Captain Steve's a fucking horse.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Power Up Podcast. Yes, there's a podcast that likes to look at things in the old pop culture field, from video games to anime, movies, comics, whatever. Take a look at them, see if it's good, see if it's bad, see if it's disgusting and retarded. Sometimes go down to the spiritual level, the supernatural elements behind certain themes and whatnot. But yes, got some articles here today that I kind of want to look over real quick. I don't know how long the show will be this time around, but we'll see. We'll hop right in to it. But we've got, Jerry Seinfeld talking about PC culture and worried about the decline in comedy. It's dying, which I very much agree with. We've got some information about Helldivers 2 ranking 7th, I guess, in a lifetime of like US dollars or something like that. Like it sold really well. Batman Arkham Shadow was announced, apparently a VR exclusive, and some other stuff too. So one of the articles I have pulled up here is from Abounding into Comics, and I saw this not too long ago, and it's about the She-Hulk series. And apparently the actress, She-Hulk star, praises how series creator used Marvel show to attack fans. A very, very smart move, because that's how you want people to stay with the series, is to just attack them. Because you know me, I love being attacked. It's great. It's fun. I mean, in a way, it kind of is, because like the people who are doing it are so weak and has such a weak will and spirit that they have to do whatever it takes to, I don't know, help them sleep at night, whether that's jacking off to people's supposed fear or something like that of being socially attacked or something. It's so weird. These people like have the projection. All it is just the projection. But what's fun about it is that she built into the story that people were going to troll us. That just sounds like you knew that your writing sucks, so you kind of put it inside of the story so that when it did suck and people did call you out on it, they did that at the end. It was like, haha, it was planned all along. Number one, I doubt it was. I don't. These people think they know 4D chess, but they barely know 2D chess. So this X to doubt on this. And yet another running defense for one of the few series that objectively does not deserve it. She-Hulk attorney at law star Tatiana Maslany, I guess is how you pronounce it. Has once again praised how series creator Jessica Guile crafted the Marvel television outing to specifically attack the franchise's, quote, sexist critics. But, I mean, this might be a Bounding into Comics thing, but they said fans. Attack fans. But in here, now it's saying to attack the critics. But then again, to them, the critics are anyone who disagrees with them because they're sexist or whatever. The first actress to portray the Jade Giantess in live action offered her latest compliments to Gao's intentionally combative direction on the near universally panned Disney Plus show during an April interview given to UK news outlet The Independent. That right there is the face of someone who knows they're in deep shit, but has to go along with it. Otherwise, she'd be blacklisted. Or you could say that this person, like, that is the face of someone going X to doubt on believing this whole thing. Asked by the outlets Tom Murray how she was able to, quote, handle the inevitable wave of sexist backlash. Oh my gosh. Any sort of criticism is now sexist. It's so dumb. I'm so tired of this buzzword. I mean, it means nothing, but it just gets overused and it's so retarded. A disingenuous accusation, as despite its protagonist's gender, if She-Hulk has actually been a quality production, the storm of criticism level towards the series would have been much quieter, if not non-existent. Maslany affirmed, I think what's exciting, I think what's fun about it is that Jessica Gale built in the story that people were going to troll us. You want to know what else is also funny too is that they think criticism is trolling. Like pointing out flaws, bad ideas, or just terrible writing or presentation or acting is a troll. Again, it's these people redefine the definitions so that they are always painted in the that they're always painted to where they're the victims. Everyone else is negative. They're the victims. And all they're simply trying to do is do the right thing to socially demonstrate the correct way of how society should stem from this moment forward. Every time. Every bloody time. I don't know. It's pretty
gay.
Pretty gay indeed. When we started to get the same response that she had actually baked into the writing, it felt like part of the fun she added. What were like, I never saw the show because why would I give Disney my money nor my time? I'm assuming, what did I see? Is it with the guy that's like the come at me bro or something? Wasn't that like something in there or something stupid? I don't know. But then again, I thought I remember reading that it was like, oh, we planned that, like, it's so terrible. And then at the end, it was like, oh, it was planned all along because it's kind of like how Deadpool works, breaking the fourth wall and everything, except She-Hulk, from my understanding, doesn't do that type of trope. So you're doing it just to save your own ass from your bad writing. And now you're trying to go along with saying it and like, well, we knew we were going to get response to this. So it was all again, these people think they're doing 4D chess and they're not. She knows what the response is going to be, added the Jennifer Walters actress. As a cast, it was delightful sending each other these troll responses like, oh my God, give them a week and then they're going to literally see this pop up verbatim in the show and become the villains of the show. It was thrilling. No. Met with a follow-up question on whether or not she was expecting to face the trolls when you signed on for the show. Maslany further asserted, reading the script, it was so true. There's so much resistance to a woman just existing in the space of superheroes. This just goes to show that they don't know comics. I'm by no means a comic expert, nor did I really follow comics that hard. The only ones I've ever read is like the Punisher Maximum and all that stuff. And I'm trying to read and a little bit of the Turtles. I'm more than positive there's a bunch of superheroes that are female. Resistance to a woman just existing in the space of superheroes. You know, when I was watching the original X-Men animated series, you know, every time I saw Storm or Rogue or Jubilee or any other Jean Grey or any other female character show up, I just felt a sudden rage deep inside of me, wondering how dare any females be inside of this show. And it was just bubbling up inside of me that like the next living thing that came into my room and like was anywhere close to my vicinity, I was just going to lash out and just kill it instantly. I relate to this 100%. I wonder how high her IQ is. Because this has to be the most retarded take I've ever seen. There's always going to be that, she added. I sort of anticipated it. It's why I always feel it's important. There's such an entitlement to space held by certain people. And to even exist as She-Hulk is like a fuck you. And I love that. The narcissism. The narcissism. Oh my gosh. I guarantee you she probably didn't even know who She-Hulk was till her agent sent her a script. Said, you got to audition for this. It's right up your alley. So, you know, you don't have to act that hard. All you have to do is just spout out the PC buzzwords and you'll be good. You'll be set. There's such an entitlement to space held by certain people. You were never in this space to begin with. So what the hell do you know? Now, that's not to say you can't have an opinion on anybody, on anything. You can have an opinion on anybody, on anything, and anybody, really. Like, that's one thing, too. The bullying by, well, you're not an expert in this, so you don't really have any room to say. I'd be like, oh, go fist your own ass, because I can give an opinion. I can make astute observations and then call out bullshit when I see it. I hate that tactic. It is so bullshit. Now, if you put it into practice or something like that, then that's another thing too. Because it's like, oh, well, you're not a doctor. You didn't go to school and stuff like that. It's like, well, I can read other doctors' reports and stuff like that. Then it gets into evolve of, well, that guy's a quack or that guy doesn't follow the science. You know, God, I hate that. As to Giles' intention with the series questioned during the same interview as to how it felt to accurately predict what the trolls would be saying, the series creator herself explained, our writer's room opened 3 years ago. Oh, so that's why the writing's garbage, because it literally opened 3 years ago. So you didn't really have time to accumulate like actual good writing techniques and knowledge. I mean, but that's what happens when all you do is hire, when all the writers are either gay, a different ethnicity, or some political activist. The fact that we were able to predict what the reaction was going to be, what a lot of trolling comments were going to be, really shows how very tired and unoriginal these trolls are. Again, just painting that full brush of any sort of criticism is like trolling or something. That really tickled me because the little troll that lives inside of me really loves trolling the trolls. Oh, dude, what did I say? These people think they're like 40 chess masters. They think they're the grand masters, but really they're the ones that are the grand wizards. Oh my gosh. The narcissism. The self-awareness. Gosh, if she's going to project this hard, we might as well shove a light bulb up her ass and use her as a projector. They totally owned us by getting canceled after. I know. Oh man, what an own. We'll sacrifice the whole season or any future seasons. But we got that troll in. Gosh. They think they got the troll in because they at the end just said, well, we'll just do like what Deadpool did. We'll break through the fourth wall and that'll save all our ads. Dude, again, this is what I said in past streams too. This is why they love little tropes like that. They love multi-universes. They love time travel. Is so that they have get out of jail free card to pull that shit out of their ass when something majorly fails. As of writing, it's currently unknown whether or not Maslany's incarnation of She-Hulk will ever make another appearance within the great Marvel Cinematic Universe. Probably not. The way everything's going around now, hopefully, Disney will kind of see the writings on the wall that, oh yeah, we lost a lot of money doing this. Not to mention that we didn't give them enough money to begin with because the animation looks like garbage from what people were telling me. Well, that was fun. All right. Next. Helldivers 2 already ranks 7th in lifetime US dollar sales for Sony published games. So apparently Helldivers 2, and this comes from Video Game Chronicle, Helldivers 2 ranks 7th in lifetime US dollar sales for Sony published games after just 2 months of availability. That's according to research firm Circana, which published its US games industry sale reports for March on Wednesday. So Helldivers 2, which topped February's sales charts and placed at number 2 on March's, is the best-selling premium game of the year so far based on dollar sales. I heard that the patch a lot of people were pissed off with because I guess they nerfed a lot of stuff. I haven't booted up Helldivers in a while. Oh, excuse me. It was knocked off the top spot on March's chart by Capcom's Dragon's Dogma 2, which is the third best-selling game of 2024 so far, behind Helldivers 2 and Modern Warfare 3. Based on its performance in March alone, Dragon's Dogma 2 has already surpassed the life-to-date tracked dollar sales of Dragon's Dogma and Dragon's Dogma Dark Arisen combined, according to Sicarnia Executive Director Matt Piscatella. Or Piscatella. Other new entries on March's software sales charts include MLB The Show 24, number 3, Rise of the Ronin. Oh, I actually kind of wanted to check that one out. Number 5, Princess Peach's Showtime. Number 6, Unicorn Overlord. Number 8, no idea what that game is. WWE 2K24, number 9. While software and accessory sales both increased by 9% year over year in March, hardware sales were down by 32% compared to a year earlier. Yeah, because everything yeah. We've heard enough about the hardware consoles, hardware sales. So we got the chart here. No, Hogwarts Legacy still there. Final Fantasy. Oof. Marvel Spider-Man 2. Ouch. Digital sales not included. So the PS5, Xbox Series, and Nintendo Switch spending each declined by a minimum of 30% year on year, and overall hardware sales for the first quarter were down 24% compared to the same period in 2023. Oh no. That's because I mean, it's crazy. Like, doesn't it feel like they're speeding up consoles now to get out the new generation, or they're just trying to be cheap? It's like Nintendo started it all when they had the Wii, and then they tried to do the Wii U, which in the end was just like a more powerful Wii, but they had to sacrifice some stuff like GameCube controller ports, being able to play GameCube games and all that stuff. No HDMI. And now all of a sudden it's just like, okay, we got the first console out. Now let's make a slim version. And then Sony takes it a step further by, being like, well, now we got the Pro. Then you can get a digital one, or you can get a disc drive one. Huh. But there you go. A game that a lot of people got pissed off. Ranks number 7. For democracy. Democracy. Good job. But like I said, I saw online that a lot of people were complaining about the patch, and not the nicotine patch, a Nerf patch, apparently. Nerfing down guns and all that stuff. A lot of people weren't happy about it. I didn't look too far into that, but what can you do? All right. Well, remember when Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League, or whatever that very terrible game did? And supposedly it's part of the Arkham universe. Well, apparently there's a Batman Arkham Shadow announced, exclusive to VR. Now, why? Look, I don't mind playing as Batman, the world's greatest detective. I don't mind that. I don't need to be like VR and see it with my hands, sort of stuff, I mean, I never got into VR, and I wouldn't mind dabbling with VR here and there, but what I have a feeling they're really going to try to start pushing VR stuff. Let's see what this has to say. It comes from Niche Gamer. So publisher Oculus Studios and Marvel's Iron Man VR developer Camouflage have announced Batman Arkham Shadow, the first new Batman game in years. Oh, yeah. I love how they completely ignored Suicide Squad, even though technically that's not a Batman game. It's part of, he's in there, but whatever. So as you already probably guessed, it's exclusive to virtual reality platforms, specifically the Meta Quest 3 VR headset. So we got a trailer here. Very short article. But let's see what's up. Splinter. Not actual gameplay. It's going to be like his... Oh, okay. Huh. Very interesting. All right, let's... It's been a while since I played my Batman games here, but... So the rat's eyes were glowing, so I'm wondering if that's the fear toxin. I wonder if it's actually going to continue where Arkham City left off. Because it begs to question if Batman or a new Batman has appeared, or it's still Bruce, but now to reinvigorate the idea of fear, since Scarecrow revealed to Gotham who Batman was. I'm wondering if now like fear toxin's going to be incorporated into it. I mean, it visually looks, it should look good at this point. I don't even see why people like praise graphics anymore. If it should just be a given. And if it's not, well, then you're doing something wrong, or you're an indie thing and it's understandable because you're limited and budget and all that stuff. So they're really pushing a lot of red. So he lands, he gets up, kind of. Then we see all the rats coming down that way. And their eyes are glowing. Is that what the fear well, the fear toxin I thought was green when his eyes turned, but that could just be like Joker's influence. But I thought we saw red at the end of Arkham City. The little post credit that we see. Throws his bat pellet. There you go. So it doesn't reveal a whole lot. Interested, definitely. Am I going to go out and buy a Meta Quest? No. And I would hope that they would at least have something else planned besides just for VR. But yeah, I mean, I wonder if there's anything else about it. Let's see if I can find another article here. Let's see. Batman Arkham Shadow. Yeah, there is some stuff. Oh, this one has, I think, a little bit more information. Let me snag that sucker. Comes. All right. So Batman Arkham Shadow is the first big exclusive VR game for the Quest 3. Where's this from? Engadget. So one of the main reasons it's been difficult to recommend the $500 Quest 3 VR. Yeah, I'm not paying $500 over the 200 Quest 2 is the lack of exclusive titles, as most games have to support both models. This means we haven't really seen the power of the Quest 3 yet, but the tides are turning. Meta just announced Batman Arkham Shadow, which is fully exclusive to the company's newest headsets. Looks like this title is actually set in the pre-existing Arkham universe, but it's not being developed by franchise's steward Rocksteady Studios. It's being created by Oculus Studios and a developer called Camouflage, which made the surprisingly great Iron Man VR experience. The track record is pretty spotty when it comes to other developers playing in Rocksteady's sandbox, but the inclusion of Camouflage makes me cautiously optimistic. There's a trailer seen above, but it's devoid of any actual gameplay. For that, we'll have to wait until Summer Game Fest in June. Okay, so that's actually coming up, according to Geoff Keighley. The trailer doesn't indicate the presence of a little-known member of Batman's rogues gallery called Ratcatcher. He controls rats to commit crimes. It's a whole thing. Oh, I didn't know about Ratcatcher. Huh. Well, how about that? Old Ratcatcher. What? Why is that? Sorry. Whatever. I'm on I was looking over on X because I'm streaming there. By the way, I'm on YouTube, Rumble, and X currently. If you're enjoying it, make sure to like and subscribe and punch that notification to get notified when I go live, because YouTube doesn't like to send out notifications, as you know. But Rumble does. Rumble is good. And if you want to go beyond just helping pushing the algorithm, maybe check out the membership and subscription tiers. Anyway, this isn't the first time that Batman donned a VR headset. Back in 2016, Rocksteady released Batman Arkham VR. The game was praised for being immersive, but dinged for being just an hour long. Hopefully this one is a bit longer, though. I'm actually into short VR experiences. Yeah, that's another thing, too. I don't think people can wear VR stuff for that long. Like, a lot of people could barely... What did I hear? People can only, like, for Resident Evil 7, like, people could only take like an hour's worth of that game because it was just so intense. But then again, if you got like a screen, or goggles on, and you're just staring at it, I'm sure your eyes start to hurt really bad. There's only so much time to wonder about the house like a doofus, or wander around the house like a doofus with a headset attached to my face. While this is certainly the highest profile Quest 3 exclusive, it's not the first to be announced. So, Starship Home is a mixed reality adventure that looks like it should have been a launch exclusive for the Vision Pro. The horror tinged alien rogue incursion isn't quite a Quest 3 exclusive, as it's also releasing on Steam and PSVR 2, but is a quote next gen VR game that doesn't have to run on the antiquated Quest 2. All three titles will be released by the end of the year. All right. Well, we got a little bit more information from that one. Yeah, I had no idea about the rat catcher, but I am still curious if he still plans on using the fear toxin. Because that one, I'd love to see that direction for sure. Because Batman actually dabbling with the fear toxin to now like beat up criminals and stuff like that. Oh boy. Always towing that line. All right. All righty. Let's see. Well, like I said, I've got the Jerry Seinfeld from Bounding into Comics ready to go. But see if we can find anything else here before we dip into that. Because oh boy, Jerry's talking about it. Then you may not like his stand up. I've never really watched his stand up a whole lot, but he does know comedy. He does know comedy quite well. Hmm. Yeah, like I said, wasn't sure how long the show would be for tonight. Wait, what? This Helldivers 2 mod for Halo Infinite is coming in June. Okay. Let's check that out. Come on. Stop that. There we go. So from Windows Central, this Helldivers 2 mod, it sounds fantastic. So what do you need to know? Okay. Arrowhead Game Studios PvE co-op shooter Helldivers is one of 2024's biggest games on PC and PS5. However, it's not available on Xbox and isn't likely to be in the future since it's published by PlayStation. Soon, however, Xbox fans will have an alternative they can turn to. Helljumpers, an ambitious PvE mode for the free-to-play multiplayer shooter Halo Infinite that's being made by the Forge Falcons, a legendary team of community forgers. So Helljumpers will be a Halo and ODST themed spin on Helldivers 2 with procedural objectives, in-game progression, upgrade systems, boss fights, extraction, drop pods, and much, much more. Takes advantage of the fact Halo Infinite developer 343 Industries added campaign AI to its level editor tool Forge in season 5 last year. Dude, I gave up on Halo. I mean, I never was a big Halo person, but 343 just screwed everything up. Forge Falcons team have revealed that its plans to release Helljumpers in June with a launch earlier in the month planned. However, it, quote, will push it back a few more weeks if it needs it. So gamers on PC and PS5 have been having an absolute blast this year with Helldivers 2, Arrowhead Game Studios Starship Troopers inspired PvE co-op shooter. Since its release in early February, the game has a consistent presence of Steam's top sellers list. And according to Steam DB data, has also maintained concurrent player counts with well over 100,000 on Valve's PC gaming platform. To say that it's been an explosive hit is an understatement, frankly. And for Xbox users, that makes the fact it's a PlayStation console exclusive all the more devastating. Well, I've got it for PC because I don't have a PS5. So there's a hope that it could possibly come to Microsoft, but the chances are pretty slim. The good news, however, is that a new mode directly inspired. Are they just like repeating the same thing? Yeah, they are. What kind of padding is this? Like a lot of it is literally just repeating what's what was stated up above. Yeah, they're okay. It's gonna, instead of being a mission based, the mode will feature a huge custom campaign in which you and your fire team will deploy and return to your ship for upgrades multiple times, with each playthrough accumulating in absolutely badass battles and expertly crafted cinematic events. Forge Falcon says that Hell Jumpers will take around 2 or 3 hours to beat if you mainly stick to main objectives, though you are probably looking at around 5 hours in total if you tackle all the option side content too. Well, I mean, kind of, I mean, I know they're limited, but only 5 hours. Yes, that's kind of what it looks like. Anything else? What do we got here? What's up, Todd? So this is a kind of like a alpha state or something. So this is kind of what they're making here. I mean, I guess they said drop ships, but drop ships. They do drop shit. Oh, I guess up there too. But it looks like everything's inside. I don't know. The Forge thing is not my cup of tea. I never really got into it. But hey, if you still liking Halo, you have that to look forward to, I guess. I mean, I'm not super impressed with it, but who's to say? Ugh. Pardon. All right. You know what? Let's get to the topic at hand here. And that is Jerry Seinfeld weighs in on the steep decline of comedy. This is the result of the extreme left and PC crap. Good job. Good job, Jerry. I'm glad you're speaking out against that. So, coming in from Bounding into Comics. So, comedian Jerry Seinfeld has slammed both wokeness and the left for interfering with comedy to the point of policing jokes that could potentially end up hurting the feelings of the easily offended. And I saw the little clip. I agreed with what he had to say. A recent interview with the New Yorker Radio Hour's David Remnick, while promoting his new film Unfrosted. I probably should check that out. Seinfeld talked about comedy and how it's been negatively impacted by woke culture and political correctness. Tell me how you deal with the way that the world or the serious aspect of the world weigh on you and how that affects comedy, Remnick asked Seinfeld, to which the comedian replied, nothing really affects comedy. People always need it. They need it so badly and they don't get it. He then inserted, it used to be you would go home at the end of the day and most people would go, oh, Cheers is on. Oh, MASH is on. Oh, Mary Tyler Moore is on. All in the Family is on. You just expected there will be some funny stuff we can watch on TV tonight. Well, guess what? Where is it? Where is it? Exactly. Where is it? Because all the jokes now are either deemed highly offensive or it's make fun of Christians, Republicans, Donald Trump, and you get the golden pass. That's not comedy.
It used to be you would go home at the end of the day. Most people would go, oh, Cheers is on. Oh, MASH is on. Oh, and we adjust to it instantly. Now they're going to see stand-up comics because we are not policed by anyone. The audience polices us. We know when we're off track. We know instantly, and we adjust to it instantly. But when you write a script and it goes into 4 or 5 different hands, committees, groups.
Yep.
Here's our thought about this joke. Well, that's the end of your comedy.
Have you had that experience?
No.
Because isn't that what Curb is all about?
Yeah. Larry
basically-
was grandfathered in.
Yep.
He's old enough that I don't have to observe those rules because I started before you made those rules.
Very true. Yeah, he right on the nose, right on the nose. And it's stupid and it's pathetic. Yeah, like people like Seinfeld, Jerry, people like Larry David, Dave Chappelle, maybe Bill Burr. They can get away with saying that stuff because they don't let it affect them. We all know Dave Chappelle was tried to get canceled so many times, like a couple times, and he didn't let it happen. But yeah, I agree. The only people who can kind of still doing and get away with this sort of comedy are the people who, like Jerry said, like have been grandfathered in. That they can just say, fuck you. I was doing this before you guys were here, and I'm not changing. And I feel that's probably just an attitude I think everyone needs to have, is just that sort of attitude. And I think if enough people really start doing it, then they can't do any, like, they can keep pushing and pushing and pushing. But I think definitely in the video game industry, we're slowly starting to see developers and studios kind of slowly realizing that they're losing money. So they're kind of caving in to being like, yes, we'll try to tone it down and stuff like that. Are we there yet? By no means, no. I think the video game industry is doing a lot better than Hollywood. But Hollywood, I mean, oh gosh, that's just a swamp of disgusting perverts and PDF type people. So this just reiterates kind of what that audio clip says. But when you write a script and it goes into 4 or 5 different hands, committees, groups, here's our thought about this joke. Well, that's the end of your comedy. Yeah, and that's it. That's the thing. It's not just 1 or 2. It's like 5. It's like all these different groups got established, and it passes through all of them. It's like the rating system. The rating system's garbage too. If you ever saw the documentary, this film's not yet rated. It's bullshit. Remember watching that in college? Yeah, it's terrible. You have these no-name people who can literally just say nope because we don't agree with it. Bam, NC-17, the dreaded NC-17. They're screwed. I've always wanted to where if someone like Elon Musk would do it, it'd be nice to just start up your own Hollywood again. Just say, okay, screw you guys. I'm building this big empire again. Because what exactly? Like, I don't know the legal view of going it. Well, what can you just start up a different, like, just make a different rating system. Just be like, I'm going to just make my own rating company and just be like, oh, it's good. Pass it. If it meets the standards, if it meets the government contract or government setups or something, I don't know. Again, I don't really know how much that would work, but for me, it's more of the idea of like, well, then we'll just make our own stuff. Studios being woke bullshit. Well, we'll make our own studios. Filming committees and rating system. Well, we'll make our own rating system. Like, what's stopping us from doing that? You can have that rating system and you can have that rating system. Then somehow try to figure out a way to where it's like, well, it passes this rating system so it can go into theaters. I don't know. Probably, I'm sure it's something much more complicated than that, but I always thought about that. And yeah, we have a picture right here, the infamous using the homeless as pulling rickshaws. The bookstore. I believe that's the one where George takes a book into into the restroom, and he can't get rid of it. Fresh impressionist paintings. We did an episode of Seinfeld in the 90s where Kramer decides to start a business of having homeless pull rickshaw because, as he says, quote, they're outside anyway, as he rhetorically inquired. Do you think I could get that episode on the air today? We would write a different joke with Kramer and the rickshaw. We wouldn't do that joke. We come up with another joke. They move the gates like in skiing. Cultural gates are moving. Your job is to be agile and clever enough that wherever they put the gate, I'm going to make the gate. Yes, very, very true. Oh, yeah, the AIDS walk. That one's a good one. When asked whether he believed political correctness is on its way out, Seinfeld simply says slightly, noting that he sees a slight improvement and explaining that he sees this, quote, with certain comedians now, people are having fun with them stepping over the line and us all laughing about it. But again, it's the stand-ups that really have the freedom to do it because no one else gets the blame if it doesn't go down well. He or she can take all the blame themselves, he argued. Early in the interview, Seinfeld went on to explain how he and some of his fellow comedy writers come up with the ideas of jokes. Explain the first 20 minutes, I do a 20-minute warm-up of just nonsense. What did you do last night? What did you eat? What did you watch? And you just start laughing and having fun. This is how comedy is done. You can't have anybody in the room that doesn't have the same brain disaffect. Very true. Oh yeah, the cigar store Indian. When encouraged to elaborate, Seinfeld explained, regular people need courtesies and respect to converse and socialize with them. You can't say hostile things to them to their face, but comedians love that, as Reminick asked whether comedians take offense, to which Seinfeld simply said no and added, the offense is if it wasn't funny, that's the offense. Yeah. That episode came to life. Now we're all being bullied and wearing the AIDS ribbon. Stayed up all night playing poker. The comedian reiterates that as long as it's funny, the other comedian won't take offense at the joke, noting, which usually insulting someone to the face is pretty funny, but we don't think that there's much value in everything else in life. Everything else in life is pretty much a nuisance, but if you can get a laugh out of it is worth it. That's the way you go through life, he explained. You only care about laughing and being funny. During an interview with fellow comedian David Spade, Seinfeld also mentioned how he feels about other people meddling with comedy, which is one of the reasons he vouches for stand-up specials, hasn't really committed to any TV series or movies besides the Seinfeld sitcom and B-movie. I don't like other people's material, first of all, Seinfeld said in response to Spade asking him why he hasn't been involved in movies as an actor, adding, and that's why, I was fine doing Seinfeld, but after that, I wasn't looking. He explained, I really feel like I need to control the words too. Otherwise, it won't be funny. I can't do other people's material and make it funny. And plus, I can't get over the incredible racket of stand-up comedy. So I say yes to every gig because I love to go out and do the gig. And if I don't have to deal with other people and other crap, I can't deal with all the paraphernalia of other things. Oh, yeah. Rob Schneider as well. Like Seinfeld, comedian Rob Schneider also believes that wokeness is on its last legs. In a recent interview with Fox and Friends First, the comedian agreed with co-host Todd Apiro about wokeness being close to collapse, putting the blame on Democrats for essentially advocating for censorship or insistently advocating for censorship. What wokeness is entrenched power, and right now the Democrats are the entrenched power, Snyder asserted. Democrats suddenly turned into not being the party of the people. Now they're the party of forever wars, and now they're the party of censorship. I don't think they were ever the party of the people, personally. Specifically talking about his anti-woke pro-free speech book, You Can Do It, Speak Your Mind, America, the comedian proceeded to explain, I really wanted to go after what I feel is the attack on free speech, and I also wanted to make fun of people. And unfortunately, show business has been a big part of the censorship. You do speak out of line, and if you dare to not be a part of the one-party system, you're out and you're out forever, Schneider added. So it's nice to see guys like Shane Gillis and guys like me still going on and doing fun stuff. And I really think the turnaround is happening. I do agree. I wish it could come sooner, and I wish it was more forceful, I guess you could say. It's slowly getting there, but we're not there yet. But yeah, I do agree that a lot of people are starting to wake up about it and starting to realize that the biggest thing is that you're losing money. First of all, like in video games and stuff like that, you're losing money because you're catering to a bunch of people who hate whatever it is that you're trying to promote. They never cared about it. They just wanted to be part of the infestation to where at the end of the day, when it's done and destroyed, they can at least pat themselves on the back because they did something for the greater good. That's all this is. It's all for clout. Everything these people do is for clout. And so that's why they take old established franchises that are funny and may not be politically correct nowadays, and they're trying to rewrite it and rewrite history so that their version can be remembered throughout the ages as the version that made everything right. They're unoriginal, they're uncreative, they're activists. They're activists. They're not true gamers, or they're not true writers, or they're not true comedians. Like, that's something that I think is hilarious. Is like, for comedians, if all you do is always insult Trump, Christians, Republicans, and stuff, you're a terrible comedian. Because it's been done over and over and over. But of course, all the lefties will will clap and cheer because that's always a zinger to them. Because it's all about sticking it to them. It's so unoriginal. It's so dumb. Well, like I said, not a very long show, but that's what I had for you. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Do you think comedy is declining, or do you think that it's slowly getting back up there to where all the censorship and stuff like that is starting to be pushed back? I like to think so, at least in the video game area. For comedy, hopefully, and hopefully in movies as well. But I mean, still a ways to go. We got that Western localization ruining everything. We still have a ways, but I can definitely start seeing the impact and the pushback people are making because people are fed up with it. So you guys have a good rest of your night. Take care. Make sure to like and subscribe. Turn on the bell to get notified when I go live. We were on YouTube, Rumble, and X. You can also find me and my other social media in the description below. But I always appreciate, and I'm humbled and blessed that you guys help support the channel and grow, whether that's pushing the algorithm or checking out the membership and subscription tiers. What up, Bird is the word. They sit there and accuse the right about shoving morality down their throats. Need to look in the mirror. Yeah, absolutely. I agree. They need a good look in the mirror. By no means is any of the sides perfect. Like for me, there's people on the right when people on the right, like if we want to go more down the religious route and stuff like that, a lot of the people who scream that stuff actually don't even know the scripture. They're just regurgitating stuff that they've heard, or they were taught wrong, or they just unfortunately were taught an incorrect teaching of what scripture says, stuff like that. Like like the Satanic Panic was stupid. I mean, like my folks, like my mom and I, we read Harry Potter. My family, I would say, is conservative. We read Harry Potter. In fact, my mom and I have a great bond together because we both read the Harry Potters. I would read it first, she would read it second, and then we went and saw the movies together. That was a great bonding experience my mom and I had. I love that. I miss that. We never saw anything wrong with witchcraft because to us, we were more focused on the end of the day, the bad guy loses. Your mom, Ted Cruz says, my mom said Pokemon was satanic. I've seen that guy explain about satanic stuff. There satanic symbolism inside of it? Absolutely. Like with Alakazam, the pentagram and stuff like that. Absolutely. But this is something that I'm doing that I'm trying to work on with a new series I'm doing. If you are aware of where the origin of occultic stuff, where evil and stuff like that happens, if you're aware of it, you know how to combat it and fight it against yourself. Mom is Catholic. She read Harry Potter. Exactly. in the scripture states everything good comes from God. Well, God created everything, correct? Yes. However, evil got introduced into the world. Now, some people aren't going to like this, but this is what the scripture says. Lucifer and the angels brought in perversions of the establishment that God created. Man added to it as well. We brought death into the world. This is true. But I believe, I always get them confused. Isaiah or Ezekiel, God declares that wickedness was found in Lucifer, Hallel. His angel name is actually Hallel, Ben Shakar. It said, until iniquity was found into you. That's called wickedness. And in Jude, angels left their habitation, which was called their oikotarian, which is their being, and they went after strange flesh. And when they did that, they shedded their oikotarian. What that means in Greek as well is it's down to a being. So they changed themselves into an actual disgusting being, the complete opposite of God. And that's the perversion again. Angels can't create anything. Satan can't create anything. They can take what's already established and pervert it and cause an outcome to happen that may seem like creation. But if you're talking like boom, like God spoke and existence came into being, like Lucifer and the angels can't do that. But they have very powerful technology. That's the thing, though. You just need to be aware about it. That's what Paul talks about while putting on the whole armor of God. These people who, like, the Bible definitely says try to stay away from stuff like that, but being a Christian isn't a spectator sport. You don't sit on the sidelines. And that's what a lot of people don't seem to understand. Sometimes you have to step into the battlefield. There's subversivists and deconstructionists. The angels. Well, if we go off of the book of Enoch, Azazel or Azazel brought in a lot of corruption into the world and stuff like that. But where do you think he learned that from? Where do you think the angels learned all that stuff? From God. God knows how to use everything in the right way. The angels want their worship and the glory for themselves. Satan wanted to be like God. He wanted to be like God. He wanted to be on the same shelf with God. That's how you can tell that it's inspired, by the way, the scripture. If a human actually wrote that, he would say that Lucifer wanted to be beyond God, to be higher than God. But Satan knows he's a created being. But yeah, like this idea of if it's corrupted, it's like inherently evil is not necessarily all the case. Now, there are some stuff that are just inherently evil, but you just got to be aware of stuff, man. But that's kind of what I need to get back onto that. I've just been so busy. But that's like a kind of a new series, like I've stated in the past couple of streams that I'm trying to work on. It's kind of sharing origins of things in pop culture and kind of showing you the origin of kind of where it's possible where these things came to be by means of scripture and everything. And that I need to get back on that series. But well, that was a little side rant for you. But yep, I'm going to actually head out for the night. I got stuff to do. But thanks again for hanging out with you guys. Really appreciate it. Very humbled. Hope to see you guys next time. Again, like and subscribe. But until then, take care. God bless. Catch you on the flip side. Peace.